Well, like, I'm Erin.
Don't you know who I am?
I build the muscles around here. I'm in charge of muscles. I'm in charge of muscles. So I want to hear how the muscles worked this weekend. How'd the race go?
The muscles worked well for 2/3 of the race.
We have work to do.
Better than 1/3.
Better than 1/3. Yeah, it's all coming together. I think I executed really well. Like, I felt like the race unfolded exactly how I had set it up to unfold. I just didn't have the run legs on the day, which I don't know.
So you had to decide though, because you have to remember, although I am in charge of the muscle, I am a fan. So I kind of looked at players in the game, right? Did you already decide that when we knew you would finish the swim well, when you got on the bike, and Mr. Starkowitz, he's pretty predictable, right?
Yeah, right.
Did you decide that you were going to ride with him, even though we know that sometimes he can't run as well?
Yeah, I think.
With full due respect, because he did.
Right,
but,
yeah.
But did you decide that, or is that part of your thinking?
Well, I mean, in all honesty, I'm not going to inflate Starkey's ego, but he almost has to let you ride with him to some extent too, right? Like, he kind of set himself up for the back half of the ride.
Okay.
But for me, it was more about using him for a little bit of the race to get away from some of the other players. You know, like Kevin Collington had won the race last year, Matt Charbot. If I could have got, my goal was to get a little bit of distance on them, settle into my own pace on the bike, while Starkey started really hammering, and then, hopefully set myself up with a couple minutes down from him, a couple minutes ahead of the other guys.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well that way. I rode with Starkey and the winner, Costas, yeah. Really, really powerful young French guy. And then the second lap, Starkey took off, pushed over 500 watts for 3 or 4 minutes to get away.
Right.
And then
that'll do it.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
On cobbles, by the way.
Right.
It's the scariest thing.
Ouch.
Attacking on
on
cobbles.
the cobbles.
Yeah. On cobbles with big potholes underneath.
In the dark.
In the dark, because it was under tunnel, like a tunnel.
Yeah, I was riding through that section like this.
And you have your tinted visor on, and you're just like,
you
where
got your
am I?
visor, you're just trying to stay in your aero bars, and you're just vibrating from the cobbles, and Starkey's pushing 520 watts.
That's probably why it matters that you don't just ride exclusively on your trainer too.
Yeah.
You know that you need to be ready for anything.
I think he probably already escaped death once, so he's
just go for it.
Like, whatever, I'm gonna go for it here. Roll the dice. If I crash, it's fine. Win or
Go
die.
out in style.
Yep. Yeah, go big or go home.
Yeah.
And then it was a two.
You ain't first, you're last.
Came in, you said, if you ain't first, you're last. Oh, hell, Ricky, I was high when I said that.
Two lap run.
But we also didn't talk about the swim, which was the best swim venue I've always dreamed of doing.
Is it a one-way swim?
Yeah, it's in a
big pool. In a giant pool. I've always dreamed of a pool swim.
That's probably on the up to
You can
that.
stand it.
It's probably 4 feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I hit my arm. I mean, I do have gorilla arms sometimes. Joe Gambles once told me if I go skiing, I don't need ski poles. I just drag my knuckles. So I did. I hit the bottom quite a lot with my arms. But it was awesome. Pool swim. Just straight shot. Was able to get away. All that swimming with JR and the kid squad and Noosa really helped. And then Dibs just kind of just rolled right off of that with some big sets. She had me doing a lot of long sets by myself. We talked about the bike, how that was really kind of like, managing the energy expenditure and putting yourself in the right position. And then we hit the run and wow.
Yeah, but what were the good things? Like, you guys are always so good about finding the glass is half full. Except for with wine. Sometimes it's half empty and you just gotta pour some on top, right?
But we got a lot.
So you're just filling it out.
But But there's positives, things that you can
Yeah.
just put in your pocket and take with
Well,
you.
yeah, I think the end of the run for me was kind of one of those positives. You know, Matt and Kevin caught me. They probably, put 2 minutes into me. And then I was able to kind of hang in with them as they started jockeying for position and was able to come out, you know, in front of Matt in that little toss-up. So, yeah, I think going into Cairns.
Sneak back up on them.
I did. I tried to
Yeah.
sneak back up. I don't know if Talbot caught it on camera, but when they gapped me and then I kind of got back up to him and I saw Talbot, I'm like,
Surprise
Quiet.
attack.
Very, very quiet.
yeah.
We're hunting Cowington. How did you
So-
do nutritionally?
Yeah, I think everything worked pretty well nutritionally. Got a lot of calories in on the bike. And then, yeah, I felt pretty good. It got hot out there. I feel like I managed all that pretty well. It's just flat legs. And sometimes you start a race and that happens.
Yeah.
And what else happened in Mexico?
And then what is?
Did you get a sombrero?
Yeah, we have a picture of a sombrero.
We'll give you that picture to throw up.
Oh yeah, I have it.
Yeah.
Mexicana.
You're a big success down there.
Shake.
You're a big success. Look at that big belly of yours.
You have been swimming so much better. I mean, right? So, and you guys got out of the water within four seconds. You were right on the
Yep.
money.
Yep.
So, how are you feeling in the water?
Yeah, I was a little, I want to say I wasn't super confident with how my swim would go. I'm swimming pretty well in the wetsuit, like really well in the wetsuit with the stroke that Joey has helped me develop. But not as great without the wetsuit, so non-wetsuit swim, and yeah, I was pretty happy with it. I mean, Jeannie swims a lot faster than me in the pool. Obviously she's just come off a race and I think she's a little tired, so I'll give her that, but yeah, she was in sight the whole swim, which was nice. And I'm never a good starter, but I generally start back and then I have to swim past a lot of people, and I end up swimming past most people except for Jeannie, and Kaiser and a couple other girls just sat on my feet and were content to let me do all the work, which was fine because I was content to do all the work. The goal for the race was to have a really hard race. I wanted a good, honest indication of where my fitness is at, and I didn't really care about anyone else. I just wanted to race hard and put in a good effort, because I know putting in a good effort 4 weeks out from an Ironman is always a good thing to do. And also it's good for me to like be able to sit back and look at where I'm at and any tweaks we need to make in the next couple of weeks. Not that you can do a whole lot in 4 weeks, but you can do a couple of things before the big race in Cairns. So yeah, was happy to do that. And then I think I got out 25 seconds behind the lead girl, which was Jeannie, and the legs felt good running out of the water and onto the bike. It was kind of up a lot of stairs too, so sometimes in Ironman races, 70.3 is Olympic distance, you know immediately when you finish the swim whether you're going to have a good day or a bad day. The first couple of steps even. You have the energy and the pop, or you don't. And I had the energy and the pop. And so I hopped on the bike, and Jeannie was just up the road. I think I had a quicker transition, so I was only maybe 25 seconds out of the water, 20 seconds when I hopped on the bike. And I could see her up the road, and so I just like put the power down to try and bridge that gap as quickly as possible. Crucial thing that happened in the beginning of the bike, I taped my gels on, which I did in Texas, and I actually normally take one gel. Pre-Isabel would take one gel and really not need much nutrition at all. Doing the sport for a long time, you need less and less. You become more efficient at that effort. But after having Isabel and now I'm breastfeeding, I need to fuel a lot more.
She heard the magic word. Do you see that?
Isabel.
It's the B.
Okay, someone talking about me?
Yeah, is it
You
time
talking about
to
me?
eat?
You talking about me? So yeah, with feeding Izzy,
Your
I know
energy needs are different.
yeah, and I've noticed since training, like, it's like night and day. Like, you feel fine and then you completely have nothing. Like, on the trainer, it's happened to me a number of times after doing a swim session, coming home, helping the trainer, hour and a half or something in, I'm done. I can't even push 100 watts. And so I just eat like a bunch of food and give it 20 minutes and then I'm good to go again. But didn't have that luxury, and Monterey. Anyway, I dropped my nutrition. My gels flew off in the first 1 minute of the bike, and I took a little Gatorade on the bike ride, but it wasn't enough. I hoped that it would be enough, but I knew really early in the run that it was going to be a hard day. Probably 6K in, I was actually on the run I take a gel flask with 3 gels in. We mentioned it takes me usually the whole run to get through that gel flask, and usually I'm aggressive in the first half and then don't usually have it all in the second half. I had that whole gel flask in the first 6K, and even having that, I still was like 7, 8K came around, and I put a little gap on Kaiser, and then the energy was just waning, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to eat, or I'm not gonna make it to the end of this run. So she ran back up onto my shoulder. I got to it's never happened to me before in a race, especially in a half, and I got to an aid station and took some random gels. I think I took 2 gels in quick succession, and then I got a stitch. So it was just, one of those days.
Lots of new stuff.
It was a little tougher than it should have been, and it's my own fault. But
it's not your fault that the gels fell off your bike.
It's my fault that I didn't have a plan B.
Word.
So you always have to have a plan B, and we talked a little bit about this before the race, but usually in halves it's not
or
as...
C.
In Ironman you have plan A, B, C, and C,
Q.
but
Go all the way down.
but in halves not as much normally, but with Izzy and nutrition, it's like crucial. No, I'm not happy with the race because I made some mistakes that I know better. But I raced with integrity, and I raced well, and I swam well. I biked as best as I've ever biked before, and I didn't run well because I ran out of fuel. I think had I fueled properly, it would have been maybe a different race outcome. But you never know, and that's all part of racing. Like, things happen in races, and you go and do your best with the cards you're dealt or with the situation in front of you. And I messed up. I didn't have enough nutrition and suffered. I'm actually surprised I got second in the end there. I thought for sure the whole world would run past me at the end of that run.
4 weeks till cans. All right, what do we have to do to race at our best from what we learned from Monterey?
Well, I think I need to dial in my nutrition. I'm going to talk to my nutritionist from Oz, Greg Cox. I don't know if there's any guidelines with racing Ironman and breastfeeding. So I don't know if I'm going to maybe try and replace one of Izzy's feeds. I've got enough breast milk to last probably like a month and a half. So I probably could replace one of her feeds a day. I'm thinking about doing that, or I don't know. I just need to maybe fuel more and race day. I think that's my biggest takeaway. And running, I just need to keep putting in some more running volume because I still haven't really done a whole lot of running leading into this race yet.
Yeah, it's probably 4 or 5 months during your pregnancy where you really weren't getting your volume.
Oh,
8
4 or
to
5.
9.
More like a year where I wasn't really.
Don't over exaggerate, Ren.
A year, for sure. We found out we're pregnant in November, and
Yeah, you did shut it down.
Yeah.
Like, woo!
I'm like, except not champagne.
Except here, you have a glass.
Yeah, except let me watch you drink it while I sit here and get fat. For no reason. No reason. There's a baby. And you, go. What do you think you need to do?
I think I realized this past weekend how really far behind I was with missing the running training. It was only 8 weeks for me in the boot, but my running pedigree is not to the likes of some others. But I think you just really, there's not much time to get a couple more bigger sessions in, but I think knowing that I'm at a little bit of a deficit, I think I can still really race well, but I have to be tapered properly.
Yeah. Overall, I think we're both in a great position. We need to make sure we stay healthy now and look after ourselves in the next, maybe not tonight we can drink a lot of wine, but after that we probably should
shut it down
a little bit And
no mountain bike riding for me. Dibs said.
Just on the trainer for you.
Yeah, trainer, bubble wrap.
And we have 2 weeks until we leave for Australia. 2 weeks tomorrow,
Yep.
we head down to Australia, which will give us, we lose a day, so 10 days before the race. So
Yep.
that's going to go really fast. And we have a lot going on between now and then. But I think the most important thing for now is to rest up next couple of days and then get in a good 10 days of
Yep.
hard training, and then we're done. You definitely want to go in underdone for an early season Ironman. And I think we will. We're gonna be okay. I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's all gonna be okay.
I think it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I hope it's okay.
Please.
All right, so it looks like I'm buying ice cream.
Yes.
Yep. Even though we have a joint account, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So we're thinking we need to come up with a better bet. We need more on the line. Nothing too crazy, but we'd love to hear.
A little bit of crazy.
A little bit of crazy is
Like
always
if you're
good.
sprinkling in the crazy, like just like two little sprinkles in there.
Anyway, if you guys at home could think of a good bet,
Wager.
wager for us for Cairns, because I'm in Cairns is less than 4 weeks now, and that's a big race for both of us.
Yep.
And so the person with the best placing gets what? Or the person who gets the second best placing has to do what?
Some guidelines: no nudity, no breaking federal laws. Breaking state laws is okay, but just no breaking federal laws. Anything else? Any other guidelines?
I don't know. No, yeah. We just want to hear. Be creative. Send them in. We'll pick one. And if we pick you, we'll send you a prize pack. I don't know what it's going to have in it yet, because we have to see what we got laying around the house, and actually our sponsors will probably put together a really good prize pack for you. So send in your ideas and we will check them out. So we've decided if we get 1,000 likes on this YouTube video, then Tim has to ride with these sweet cow stickers on his disc to cover the valves. So go ahead, give us some likes.